Hello, welcome to another video. This is my October wrap up. Now in January of this year I read 20 books and I swore I would never do that again because it was just almost too many books. I couldn't retain the information from them, but also filming the wrap up was so hard. I just really struggled with it for some reason and found it really difficult, so I kind of just said I'm never doing that again. And I haven't done it again, but I have read 16 books. And 16 books right now is looking like a pretty tall stack, and one of them is a Kindle book, so it's not even in the stack. So basically, this is going to be my super speedy wrap up of my October 16 reads. I'd like to fully blame Spoopathon. Usually I would throw the books at myself, but I'm not going to do that this time for two reasons. One, I'm actually sitting on a chair at the moment. The setup's changed slightly because my back is really hurting me and I needed the back support of the chair. So that's reason one of why I'm not going to be throwing them, because I don't want to move much if I can help it. And reason number two is there's just so many and you'd think that throwing them is like a really quick thing. But sometimes I throw them and I hit myself in the face. Sometimes they land on the floor. Sometimes they go all the way over there. Like, it's a messy time. So just for ease of my own sanity, I'm just going to hold them up. So yeah. Let's see the 16 books I read for Team Order of Spies and Spoopathon. It was a great reading month. I'm really pleased with everything I've read. I've tried to stick to mainly spooky books, but yeah, there's a lot here, guys. So the first book was Patrick Suskins' Perfume. This is a pretty short translated fiction horror that is basically following a guy who has this real talent for smells. He has no odor himself, but he can smell things really strongly, and he, in that sense, becomes a murderer. In that sense, oh, I didn't even mean it like that. Becomes a murderer because he wants to bottle the scents of people and keep that scent forever, so he kills them. And yeah, it's a bit twisted. It's very, very strange. The end is absolutely bizarre. Completely weird. Very, very strange. I kind of liked it, I kind of didn't. It was a 3 out of 5 stars, so a pretty average one, but I'm really glad I finally read this because this has been on my TBR for a while. So yeah, 3 stars for my first read of the month, Patrick Suskins' Perfume. Then my Patreon book club pick was The Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Harrow. This is the absolutely stunning Illumicrate edition. Now, I was really excited to read this. It's feminist, it's witches, it's the witch movement as part of the feminist movement, it's talking about women getting the vote. Like, this has everything I feel like I should have enjoyed, but this fell flat for me. And I think the reason it fell flat is because I could see it was really well written and I could see that it was a really good story, but I just wasn't enjoying following it. Like, it's one of those books where you can see everything about it is great, but it's just not for you. So this one ended up coming out as a 3 out of 5 stars because it was much more character driven than plot, and at times I just felt like the plot was really, really loosely strung together. So I can see that it's an excellent book, but it just wasn't one for me, sadly, which I was so disappointed by. It really split our Patreon discussion because half of us loved it and half of us hated it. So it was really interesting to see what people thought about it. But yeah, I'm glad I finally read this one as well, because again, this has been on my TBR for a while, but I'm just sad that I didn't love it as much as I hoped I would. Then I thought I'd ease myself in with some graphic novels because those two were kind of heavier reads. So I read I read The Sad Ghost Club by Liz Meddings. This is a graphic novel about mental health, and it follows a ghost who goes to a party and feels kind of out of place there and wants to meet someone else that makes them feel less out of place. So this is the little night in question for this ghost. It's super cute, super wholesome. It talks about anxiety, and I think it was just really nice. I really enjoyed the kind of quaintness of the story whilst also talking about something that was really important. So this one got 4 out of 5 stars from me. Then I read Mooncakes by Wendy Zhu and Suzanne Walker. This is a romance between a witch and a wolf or werewolf, and it's about the wolf kind of being targeted by some darker magic thing and the witch trying to stop the wolf from getting pulled into this dark magic world thing. And it is so wholesome and so cute. The witch works at a witch coffee / bookshop thing and sells special magic books, and it's just lovely. I absolutely loved this so much. This was actually my first 5-star read of the month. This has a main character who is deaf, which was really great to see that representation in there as well. And I just thought it was really, really good, and I really enjoyed the illustration style as well. I just happened to turn to a page where that's reminded me one of the characters has a pigeon head for a head, and I just think that's glorious. Look, there's just a pigeon. I love it. It's so great. Then I moved on to a book I have been wanting to read for years and years. This was, I feel like, the month of reading all the books I've been waiting to read. But that was Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. This is a classic gothic horror. It follows a woman who marries a man who's previously been a widow, and she moves into his house and becomes the lady of the house. She is an unnamed main character, which is really interesting because it's much more about the house and the atmosphere than it is about her actual personality. It's made to feel like you don't really get much of her. Like, you see it all from her perspective and you get the story through her eyes, but you find out nothing about her really. So this was really interesting, and I was worried I would not like this because it's a classic, it's daunting, I just thought it would be too much for me. But I ended up really liking it. I think if you're after something that is going to be slower, it's got those gothic tones, it's kind of got the soft, creepy vibes to it, the atmosphere, there's a haunting element to it that's so much more than that. It was really good, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Then I jumped back to a few graphic novels. So then I read Fangs by Sarah Anderson. This is so cute. This is another romance story in a graphic novel, this time between a vampire and a werewolf. And I just absolutely loved it. This is just so sweet. It's kind of like short comic strips on each page. So each strip is a different part of their story and they kind of all piece together. And I just bloody loved it. It made me laugh, it was super cute, it was just really nice. So I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read Letters for Loco by Otava Hakila. This is another graphic novel. This is a romance between a vampire and a human. This is a graphic novel that shows a lot of detailed sex scenes in it, which I was not expecting and was kind of surprised by when I came across it because I just didn't click it was going to be that kind of a book. But yeah, it's basically the romance between these two, but also mainly about their sex life as well within these very intimate scenes that we see from them. And yeah, it was quite different to read, to be honest. So be warned if you want to read this one that it does feature a lot of heavy imagery that is sexual and quite detailed scenes of them having sex. But I did enjoy it, but at the same time there were moments where I was like, what is this story? Is this just smut, or is there a story to, like, I have to have a story if I'm going to have smut, and I don't know how much of that this delivered, so this one got 3 out of 5 stars. Then I read a teeny weeny book, which was Greta Thunberg's No One Is Too Small to Make a Difference. This was for the non-fiction prompt within the Spoopathon Haunted House. I struggled to fulfill this prompt. I didn't really want to read any non-fictions as such, like there wasn't anything, not that I don't want to read them, but like there wasn't anything top of my TBR that I wanted to read at that time, and I thought they would like slow me down quite a lot because, you know, obviously I really needed to keep going at full speed ahead at this stage. But I picked this one up because it was short, I wanted to read it anyway, and I thought it was an important one to read in general because it has some really important messages in it. So this is basically a compilation of speeches that Greta Thunberg has done across, I think it was up until 2019, I want to say. And this basically compiles all of these different essays and speeches. So some of them are kind of covering the same things, but it's just telling us about what we need to do, the action that we need to take to save our planet, and it's just really important. I would say that everyone should read this because it's telling us important things and what we can do, but then people should make action beyond just reading this book. So yeah, this one was really good. I say this every time I read non-fiction, I still haven't figured out a rating system for rating non-fiction yet, but I guess this would have been around a 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. This was for a dedicated reading vlog, and I ended up liking this a lot more than I expected to. This is a small town in which someone has moved to town, and one of the mums is thinking that something's not right there, and she tries to investigate into him within her book club. So this is the journey of her trying to work out what's going on and trying to like basically get him out of her town, make her town safe again. There is a lot going on in this other than that, but like just as a quick overview as to what the story is about. I did really enjoy the creepy atmosphere in this. I quite enjoyed getting to read about these characters, but I don't know if I actually liked any of the characters specifically, which is probably why this got a lower rating from me, because I think I rated the characters lower because I didn't really like any of them. So this one came out as 3.5 out of 5 stars for me, and I am looking forward to talking more about this one in my dedicated reading vlog. That vlog will be out, I think, maybe next month because it's got a couple of other books going into it as well, but I'm excited. Then I read The Super Mutant Magic Academy by Gillian Tamaki. This is another graphic novel, again, comic style strips, each page is a different story and they all knit together at the end. And this follows the students at the Super Mutant Magic, why can't I speak today? Super Mutant Magic Academy follows the students that attend there, and there's just so many different types of students there, and I just loved it. It was very cute, very funny. There was quite a lot of relatable moments that just really made me laugh, and I just think as little sketches these work perfectly, and it was just It was just some light relief. It was fun. It got 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read The Spirit Engineer by AJ West. If you have seen my horror book haul, then you will see that when Lauren and I bought this book, we actually met the author, which was super cool. So this one is personally signed, which is really exciting. They just happened to be in the bookshop when we saw the copy and they picked it up and stamped it and we were like, are you the author? And we chatted with them for ages. So this is a historical paranormal fiction about a man who believes that he has a connection to spirits and is basically hired to debunk mediums so people can see if they're actually real or if it's all a scam. And this is his experience from that, but it's also based on a real story that did happen, because after the Titanic sank, a lot of people were trying to contact the dead through mediums. So this is all based on a real story, which makes it even more interesting. This one was great gothic horror. Again, it had so many creepy atmospheric moments, and I think it reads almost like a modern classic. So I really like this one. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. Then we come to White Smoke by Tiffany D. Jackson. This book scared me. This is so creepy. It's about a girl and her family who moved to a completely new state in America. They moved to this creepy old house and basically there's some hauntings going on there, and it's about the main character and her trying to figure out what's going on and no one really believing her, and it getting worse and worse. And yeah, it creeped the crap out of me. I was reading this one in the evenings and that was a bad idea. I had to like take breaks in between it to just mindlessly scroll through social media so I wasn't completely freaked out. But I really enjoyed this. This also features a main character with anxiety, and I think that the way that that was portrayed was very emotionally done. It was, she has one of the things that she is anxious about, or the main thing she's anxious about, is bed bugs. And there was a scene where she was getting really panicked about the idea there would be bed bugs, and her mum was trying to help her, and it portrayed her in the middle of this panic attack. And I have contamination OCD, which means I can panic about germs and like the idea of somebody being ill and giving me that illness, and I really resonated with this character when she was having her panic attack, because it was so accurate to how I feel when I have those moments. So this was really great. I absolutely loved it. I would really highly recommend it. This was 5 out of 5 stars. Then I did my Six of Crows reread by Leigh Bardugo. I have been waiting to reread this book for ages, and I did it as an audiobook, and I really liked it. I think I am hoping to move on to Crooked Kingdom this coming month, but I definitely enjoyed this. It feels like Ocean's 11 in YA book form with fantasy elements. It was super fun. I really enjoyed getting to know all the characters again, because I had completely forgotten this from when I first read it. I think back in 2016, completely forgotten it. So now my brain has been refreshed. I'm very glad that I picked this up, and the audiobook was really good. So this was 4 out of 5 stars. Then I thought I'd read a lot of darker, spookier books. So I picked up Last Chance Books by Kelsey Rodkey. This is a YA contemporary, and it is based off of the film You've Got Mail. Now, whilst this book I think is set in the summer, I wanted to read it in the autumn because You've Got Mail is autumnal and cozy, and now I want to watch You've Got Mail. Okay, maybe I'll watch that later. But this was giving me off those kind of autumnal vibes despite the fact that it's set in the summer. It's a romance between two people who work at rival bookshops. One's an indie, one's a chain, and the indie is trying to stay open and the chain is basically trying to steal their customers. And it's just super fun. It's relatable in some sense when they talk about the books and the way that the different employees they have in the bookshops. There's like a lot of relatable moments in there. It was just a fun book really to break up the kind of darker stuff that I've been reading. So I really enjoyed this one. I don't often pick up YA contemporary, but yeah, I really liked it. So this was 4 out of 5 stars as well. And then finally, to end the month, I decided to challenge myself to see if I could read Empire the Vampire by Jay Kristoff in 2 days. And I did. I have a 48-hour reading vlog for it if you wanted to check that out. I'll try and remember to link it up here, but I'm really bad at remembering that. So yeah, this was a lot. I almost want to reread it, not now, but like maybe in a couple of months' time, to just really hammer it in, because there are 2 different timelines going on here, and I listened to the audiobook for a lot of it. I was reading alongside the audiobook for probably about 40% of it, but for the rest of it I was listening whilst I was doing things and driving, and it was quite difficult to tell when you're going in between the 2 different time zones when listening to the audiobook, so that made it a little bit confusing. And generally I think there was a lot to grasp in here. Like there's a lot happening, a lot of different plots and subplots going on. So I did enjoy it. The writing was really good and really funny at times, like the dry humor. It definitely gave me Witcher vibes. Like if you like The Witcher, I think you would probably like this book. But yeah, I definitely liked it. I just think I got a little bit lost. But the end, the last 150 to 200 pages were amazing. There was so much happening that I was just like, I can't put it down, which is good because I was reading that part at like 10:30 at night until half midnight, and I was very sleepy. So this one is the last book I read in October. I actually put this on my November TBR, so I'm gonna sort that out, but kind of proud of myself for reading it because it is big, and I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. So that is my October wrap up. I am so glad I chose to sit down for this and not throw the books at myself. That was a lot easier. Maybe I'll just sit on this chair normally because my back is supported, which is good. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my wrap up. If you did, please do give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below how many books you read in October and what was your favourite. Subscribe to see more of my face on your feed. I've also got my Patreon link down below, which I have rebranded recently. It's all new. There's access to live shows for every tier now. So for £2.50, you can watch any of my live shows that are going to be happening really regularly. So that's all linked down below. Thank you so much for watching. Keep smiling and stay positive.